A lot to cover, and so I'm going to ramble for a while and take notes on what you want and listen to what you want and scratch the rest of it. But there's obviously a lot of rumors going on over the last couple of weeks since the last game. Actually, a few of those maybe actually be true. Honestly, most of them probably not, but that's the way rumors work. So I'm going to clarify some things and talk through some things and make sure we're all on the same page. First and foremost, let me dispel one rumor. I'm not resigning. I'm not stepping down. I'm not taking a leave of absence. I'm not going anywhere. And so I know that has been one, apparently, that has been rampant. And so those of you that were hoping I would, sorry, it's a bad day for you is all I know to tell you, but I'm not going anywhere. That was, honestly, at no point has that ever been part of our conversation. Terry has been in complete support of whatever Wendy and I did decide to do. And I can just tell you, if you know her at all, just it never has even been remotely a conversation about stepping away. Our plan is to fight and beat cancer and keep doing what we're doing on a daily basis and trusting all the people that are supporting us. And I just say thank you publicly. There's no way to get to everybody. We've gotten so many letters, cards, food, you name it, roses. Man, we appreciate it. So we can't get to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep praying because we are in a fight, literally for our lives. So, but stepping away from my job has just not been part of that conversation. We're going to keep doing what we do. It's where God's got us. I think I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do, and we're just going to keep trying to do it and do it better, and fight cancer at the same time. So I think that was one of the biggest rumors that was out there, and it just wasn't true, but it gave people a lot of things to talk about for a few days, and I'm all about keeping everybody busy for a few days. With that being said, however, it has become very clear to me over the last few months that some changes in our program did need to be made. I think just bottom line is there's just no way to prepare for what we're going through. And it became evident to me through the course of the season that to make it really bluntly, I just was not doing a very good job at my job. I thought we started out really well. I thought we made some plans and some changes in the offseason to try to affect our football team in a positive way after having a season a year ago that we all thought could have been better. I thought those plans and changes and things that we did were showing up early in the season in terms of how we played a non-conference play. But I believe, it just gradually as the season progressed, as it became evident to me that my wife wasn't well, and I became honestly focused on her and distracted at times, I just didn't do my job very well, and it affected our football team. I think we can be better than we were. I think we should have been better, and honestly, I just didn't do my job very well. I thought I could handle all that and still do my job well, and I just think there's things that slipped. And when you get into these seasons where you're really, really close and it's a play here or there, a ball bounce this way or that way, there's just no margin for error. And I found myself spread too thin, trying to be the head coach, trying to be the offensive coordinator, trying to coach the quarterbacks, recruit effectively, handle discipline details, all the above, and then honestly care for a wife that is ill. I found my limit, and I wasn't very good at the job I was doing. And I reached out to Terry midway through the season when I could tell that things were changing and that there was more to the signs of Wendy being sick. There were more to that. I let him know that I was concerned about just that I felt like I was kind of letting us down a little bit, and that I felt like that I need to be really deliberate about evaluating how we move forward, and that I did think there was a possibility that I needed to step away from the coordinator's role, and that meant making decisions on how to move forward with that role. Was that to turn it over in-house to guys already on staff, or was that ultimately to make some changes? And we didn't make those decisions then. We took some time. We talked several times. I did a thorough evaluation of my staff. I had Scotty Conley, who I hired to come in a year ago as our DFO, really hired him in more of a general manager's role, really do some independent evaluations as well on a daily basis. And, really over the second half of the season, just started trying to prepare for what the next step really needed to be. I met with Terry again towards the end of the season and let him know that I was leaning towards making some significant changes on staff. I needed his blessing. And he sat down and talked to Chuck and Kelly, and they discussed, what our options were. And ultimately came back to me and said, it's your decision. We're going to support what you decide to do, either retaining the staff or maybe making some changes. Just let us know what those are. And all these based off of knowing that I needed to step away from the coordinator's role, which I love doing, by the way, and it's what got me this job in the first place. But knowing I needed to, and then what I needed to do moving forward. What was the next step? Thought long and hard about it, a lot of prayer as well, and ultimately decided that I did feel like I needed to go outside the program, that I felt like a new perspective was needed and some new ideas and really just someone that I felt was truly going to be in line with exactly what my philosophy was. Also somebody that I knew I could turn things over completely to and that I could do the jobs that I needed to do. Number one, be a husband that's taking care of his wife. Number two, be a head coach that's taking care of the total program, not just one side of the ball. And so the way that kind of went was I let Terry know before we started bowl prep that I had made those decisions and that when the game was over with, I would be moving on with some of those changes. It became painfully obvious to me during bowl prep that I was making the right decisions. I was exhausted. I don't think I was very focused at all on my job, and it showed up in the bowl game in some big ways. And so all I know to tell the fan base is, man, I wanted to win it just as bad as you did, and it falls on my shoulders. I just, it's something that we should have won the game. Take injuries out of the equation, take thin roster out of the equation, take all those things out. We were good enough to be better than we were. Falls on my shoulders, and taking steps now at this point to move forward and try to be better. So the game was over with, I brought staff in individually, and I did let three guys know that I would not be retaining them, and that they were going to need to look for jobs on other staffs. And it's the hardest thing I've ever done as head coach. They're great guys. Number one, they've got unbelievable families, and they work their tails off for us while they were here. I don't take lightly those conversations. I know it seems to be very easy in public today across the country to just say it's okay to turn guys loose, and it's anything but that. There's families involved with every one of those decisions, and I'm going to do everything I can to help those guys in their career. And like I said, they're great people, and they got great families, and I wish them the very best. But I did think as a head coach and a CEO that moving forward that I was confident that we did need to make the changes that we did, and that I had a very short list of guys in mind that I felt would fit the role coming in, that would allow me to step away from the coordinator position, the quarterback room, turn it over to somebody else, and change my duties as well. So we waited as long as we waited to announce it today out of respect for those guys that were let go. They deserved opportunity to look for other things. The AFCA convention has been over the last 4 days in San Antonio. It's always a great opportunity to meet with other coaching staffs, and we just felt like myself felt like it was worth trying to give them as much time as possible to secure other job opportunities. And I know that's inconvenient for everybody else, but it was what was right for them, and we've done that. And we let them know that we would be announcing today, and we would also do everything we could to help them along the way. So that's why we waited. That's why we asked you guys to wait. That's why we called you all here today, so everybody gets the same news at the same time. And I think it was the right way to handle things. And I do think it's best for the program moving forward, the changes that we're making. Then with that being said, the next step of that is really just to let you know the changes that we've had made, and the guys are going to be coming in, and the roles they're going to take on in our football program. We'll be announcing a new offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach today, Keith Heckendorf. I don't think that's a surprise to everybody in the room. I know there's been a few leaks over the last couple of days, which is natural. I hired Keith on my first staff here. He did not last very long. He made it through recruiting day, and Larry hired him back immediately to coach quarterbacks there at North Carolina. He spent 2 years in a room with myself and Walt Bell and Larry, and he was my right-hand man. Had him on one side and Walt on the other. And he was with me with every meeting with the quarterbacks. He's been a coordinator in the past at lower levels. He's a really good player as well. Harlan Hill finalist 2 years in a row. He's got a great grasp for the position. But he also spent 2 years in a room with Seth Luttrell, who's doing a great job at North Texas. After going back there on staff with Larry in the last 2 or 3 years, he's been the pass game coordinator, coaching quarterbacks, calling ball plays, and doing a phenomenal job, in my opinion, of doing that, and also prepared one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the NFL today in Mitch Trubisky. So there's a level of comfort and trust between the two of us, very similar to what I had with Coach Bell when we came. And like I said, it was a very short list of guys that I would consider, and I'm happy to have him coming back. There were some opportunities that were presented to him before agreeing to come to us, and I'm happy to say that he walked away from those opportunities to come be our OC. I'll turn it over to him. I'll help him every way I can. He will call it. He will run it. He will design it, and I'll do everything I can, as I did with Walt for 2 years, to help him do so. I do believe there's still plenty that I can help with, but I'm stepping out of that role and turning him loose with, I think, a very talented group of guys with some very capable quarterbacks. I think he fits us perfectly in the sense of vision and what he believes in, and his how he coaches and how he plans. I think it's a great fit for us, and he'll be here on Sunday and ready to hit the ground running on Monday. In addition to him, be bringing an offensive line coach and run game coordinator in Sean Coughlin, who's been at Southwest Missouri State, I guess is how you say it. I'm not exactly sure how you say it anymore, but I've known him for a long time. Trained under Chris Kapilovic, who was my O-line coach for 6 years. I've had a chance to talk ball with him a lot. He's been around us a lot, both at Southern Miss and Carolina, and I've stayed in constant communication with him since being here. He fits our area in recruiting. He fits our personality, what we want up front. He and Heckendorf have a great relationship, having both worked with Cap as well and been in a lot of rooms together. And so he comes in and will help us in that role. And I think he just brings a really no-nonsense blue-collar mentality to the room that'll go well with the guys that we put in there, and I know he'll work extremely well with Keith. Last edition will be wide receivers, and that'll be Malcolm Kelly. Malcolm played, he's from Longview, Texas, played at OU, had a good career in the NFL before that was taken away with injury. I've known him all the way back since high school and his time at OU. Played for Darrell Wyatt, who I think all you guys know is very close to me and was with us for a year before going on to Central Florida. He has spent time both at Houston and East Texas Commerce as a coach, but just think he brings what we are looking for in the room in terms of his experience, the offenses he's been in, the energy level he'll bring in, and also just the footprint in which he is from and where we recruit and all the above. All these guys in that room want to play at the next level, and a guy that spent 4 or 5 years playing at that next level and seen that side of it is going to be a great addition to us. So those are the 3 guys that will be coming on the field. They'll all be here on Sunday and be moving forward on the road as soon as possible after having a chance to meet the players, talk to the players here on campus before hitting the road. One other change off the field, we're losing Pat Ivy, who's done a great job with our strength program, losing him as well, and that was something we've kind of known over the course of the bowl prep, but became evident to us a couple days before the game. But we're lucky to bring back kind of family and bringing back Jake Miller, who was with us for a year with Kaz, left to go to SMU with Kaz, and is coming back. And the guys are super excited about it. Had a chance to let the team know, and been nothing but huge response. They thought he did a great job, as did I. Very thought long and hard about elevating him before, and we went with Pat with his level of experience was hard to turn down. But Jake's going to be a great addition. He'll be back tomorrow, ready to roll, and we'll hit the ground running.